Podcasting from Phoenix, Arizona, you're now listening to The Get Down with your host, JD and Vince.
Good morning, everybody. This is The Get Down. I'm your host, JD, with my boy Vince. Welcome.
What's going on, everybody?
This is our very first podcast show, episode 1. Just wanted to go in and give you a little intro about who we are, what we do, and what you're going to hear on this podcast. The Get Down, this is just sort of a little bit of everything. Whether you like hip-hop, sports, politics, news, you want to come on here and talk about anything, this is the show to do it. We're not going to judge you or anything like that. Just come out here, have a good time, and speak your mind. All right, first topic of the day is sports. World Series, it starts on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Dodgers against Astros. I don't think we saw Dodgers versus Astros. I was kind of thinking Dodgers versus Yankees.
I think that's what everybody wanted, Dodgers versus Yankees. But
East versus West.
I like that the Astros are in it. Like, I don't get why everybody was so hardcore Yankees, like talking like it was over.
It's
already.
legendary. You got Yankees versus Dodgers. That would be legendary. Especially since if you do the throwback of Brooklyn Yankees or Dodgers, against the Yanks, that's legendary right there. Who doesn't want to see the Dodgers versus Yankees?
Houston, they got a lot going on in the city. The players are representing.
True. And if Houston wins, that's big for the city. That could uplift that city, and that city needs it right now, especially since J.J. Watt's injured already. But that's good. Who do you think is going to take it? How many games?
I say Houston in 5.
Oh, I got Dodgers in 6. I'm an LA boy, so I got to stick to that. But if Houston wins, they win. But who do you think is going to be the hottest pitcher?
Justin Verlander.
Okay.
Shut it down.
All right. And what about
Kershaw's going first game for the Dodgers.
Who's going to win game 1?
I feel like Kershaw's going to choke, man. I feel like he's going to choke, so I'm saying Astros game 1.
Okay. Well, we'll see. It was a great season for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, it was a sad end, though.
It's okay. They got farther than the Suns.
Man, yeah. That's woo.
They get farther than most teams out here.
What do you think about the Lakers this year, though? We lost the Lakers
Lonzo
by 2.
Ball.
Are they real, though? Because, they only beat the Suns by 2. Suns aren't really supposed to go anywhere.
Suns are horrible. Let's be honest. They got a bunch of good players on their team, but they got a coach that doesn't know what to do with them. Eric Bledsoe needs to be traded. Let's be honest. He needs to go somewhere. Cleveland, they probably could have used him. He's definitely an upgrade over Derrick Rose. But he needs to be traded. You have Tyson Chandler, who's just a veteran in the locker room. But if I was Tyson Chandler, I'd be offended. How are you going to pay me all this money to sit here and play with a bunch of guys and not winning games?
That's true.
Send me somewhere where I can compete. Let me be a bench player somewhere else. But
now I'm with you on that. The thing is, I feel though in the NBA, they can't really send somebody to go compete somewhere else. Like Cleveland's stacked. Where are they gonna? If somebody was to go to Cleveland, where are they gonna play?
They always cut somebody. Shumpert wants to trade. I'll trade Shumpert for Bledsoe.
True.
Or Shumpert for the Suns are like the Clippers back in the day. They don't want to spend the money on their players, and they don't want to develop their players. They got Devin Booker right now, the hottest probably shooting guard in the league for the most part. And if that boy don't get out and go somewhere else, he's just going to waste his time there. The boy's a straight baller. Like, the dude is nice with it. I watched him play against Lonzo, and he scores at will. Now, Lonzo had a great game, though. That was a great game to be at. Lonzo almost had a triple-double.
But can he do that against a playoff team?
Oh, no, he can't do that against Westbrook or anything. They're going to eat him alive. Anytime you see him play against a high-end defensive point guard or high-scoring point guard, he's going to choke. He's not ready for that yet. But he's also 19. You got to give him a little time. But his assists are crazy. He's got good court vision. His shot's ugly as hell, but it goes in. Sort of like a Sean Marion shot where you just wonder, how the hell that go in. Sort of like my shot, kind of wondering how it goes in.
The other thing, though, is, they also got to deal with his dad, though. So it's just some extra drama added in.
I saw his dad out in the lobby. His dad seemed really positive and everything. I kind of respect what the dad is doing, the hustle. He's just trying to make his son great. The only downside I see in that is that he's putting his son up on a pedestal so high. If he fails, it's going to come back crashing down on them.
Yeah, so I mean, everybody I think just expects greatness. Like game one, they want him to score 50 points.
It's a lot of hype. I mean, he's not a LeBron James. He's definitely more of I'll say like a John Stockton kind of pass first kind of point guard. I mean, if you want to talk about the next LeBron James, well, there's really no one in that conversation. But Ben Simmons is looking good on the 76ers. I mean, his first game he was balling.
True.
I mean, no one's talking about him. They're talking about Lonzo because LeVar keeps everybody's name. Everybody talking about Lonzo, which is a smart dad. I mean, he wants the best for all his kids.
Yeah.
I think all his kids have a shot in the NBA. Lonzo will definitely be an all-star, but I don't think a superstar in this league anytime soon. Unless, Russell Westbrook dies tomorrow or something like that. Just like LeBron James, the best player in the world. That's just final. You can't argue that.
I agree.
But, I mean, I'm looking at the NBA so far this year, and it's been pretty exciting. Some good teams out there. Golden State Warriors have lost, twice now?
Yeah, that's a shocker right there, man.
Steph Curry threw a little temper tantrum the other night. That's a light-skinned kind of way. Draymond Green got the little knee injury. I mean, he's a key to that team anyways, winning.
Who do you think the powerhouses are? Is it still Golden State and Cleveland?
I think it's
Golden State.
I think it's Golden State and Cleveland still. I don't really see OKC as being able to take them down. They just lost to the Utah Jazz last night.
What about Houston?
Houston, man, if they can step their defense up, I mean, Houston's a threat. That boy James Harden's nice with it. I mean, that boy can score at will. I don't see how Chris Paul and James Harden are going to work together. I mean, I read something about Chris Paul was a little mad about, with the Clippers, he didn't like dribbling so damn much. He just wanted to kind of pick and pop and be in the corner and shoot a little bit. But here's the thing. You're not a stand-up shooter like that. You just can't sit in that corner and shoot. I mean, you're a true point guard. You're arguably probably one of the best pure point guards in the league. You need to take control of that team more. But him and James Harden, they both need the ball. So I don't see how it's going to go down. I mean, unless Chris Paul is just going to get a bunch of assists or he's going to turn into a shooter now. But it's still James Harden's team. Chris Paul's on a 1-year contract. I don't know where it's going to go.
See him making the playoffs?
Oh, yeah, they're definitely like a top 5 seed. They're going to make the playoffs, bare injury. But I kind of worry about their defense and who's going to, crunch time, who's going to hold the ball. I mean, same thing with OKC. You got Carmelo on there who, man, is an amazing shooter, amazing ball player. Paul George, I mean, that dude is just amazing. Russell Westbrook. I mean, you got those three, but who's going to sacrifice?
Yeah.
Is Westbrook going to get like 20 assists a night? And 15 rebounds and maybe 10 points?
I mean, especially with Carmelo, I mean, you always hear about his ego and stuff. I don't know how much of that is true, but how's it going to be him being the third best player on the team? Can he accept that?
This is his time right now to realize that if he fucks up right now, then he's not going to be able to play anywhere else.
Yeah,
I mean,
agree.
And no one else is going to want to put up with his crap. Obviously, people will take him, but I mean, you got to realize, man, those days of you getting the ball and just ISO all the time, sort of like ISO Joe Johnson. Those days are over. You can't do that in this NBA now. You got to pass the ball around, move, play defense, rebound. And when Carmelo wants to play defense, he could play some pretty good defense. He's still better at defense than James Harden. At least he doesn't look at the offensive player running by him. But Carmelo, he's still a leader. He's a champ. In my mind, he's a world champion with the Olympics. You can't take that away from him. So he's done a lot, and we'll see where the season goes. I'm excited. Basketball is a long season. Hopefully Isaiah Thomas can come back and give a spark. Gordon Hayward,
man, that was bad. I was just about to ask you about that. What do you think on that?
That's my favorite team. So seeing him go down like that, it's hard. I think he's out for the season. There's no rush to come back. Come back healthy and stronger.
I mean, how it looked, that could even be possible career ending. I mean, that just looked bad.
It wasn't as bad as the Paul George one, but I mean, it was almost on that level. I feel like it was just like right there, because Paul George's was bad.
So speaking of the Celtics, though, what do you think about Kyrie?
Man, so I was a little torn because I love LeBron. LeBron's the best player in the world, and it's like Shaq and Kobe. You got that 1-2 punch. You've been in 3 NBA finals. Why would you want to hang that up? I feel like there was ego somewhere. I don't think Kyrie liked being called, what is that? What did he call him?
I don't even
the
know.
kid?
The kid, yeah.
I don't think he liked being called a kid, but at the same time, you are the kid. You got to know your role. At the same time, you're playing with the best player in the world. So if someone called me the kid, and I'm playing with the best player in the world, I'm okay with it. As long as he gives me my respect and knows what I do on the court, then that's all.
So do you think he even wants a championship anymore, though, or he just
he wants to win.
Wants to be an MVP?
He wants to win, but I think also at the
getting.
same time, I think his ego got in the way, and he wants to be the man. And if LeBron left, he was under this whole direction of, I don't want to be here alone without LeBron. But at the same time, you're in Cleveland without Gordon Hayward right now. You got to be the man out there. Because the Celtics squad, I mean, my team was looking great. But can we compete with Cleveland in a 7-game series right now? No. I think in 5, we'd be done. Kyrie's a beast. But when it comes to the Celtics bench, I mean, we got rid of Avery Bradley. We got rid of all these great players that we had for Gordon Hayward. I don't see him as a 125 kind of guy. I see him maybe as, I would have gave him like a 4-year, 5-year, like 95, 90 million, and then spent that money on keeping some of those bench players. Keeping Avery Bradley would have been nice to keep him at the 2.
Yeah. I mean, with Kyrie, too, I don't know. For some reason, I don't see him as the leader that Isaiah Thomas was for the clubhouse. Like, I can't really see him being that guy. I don't know if it's just because he was with Cleveland and LeBron was that guy, but
I think Isaiah Thomas was Boston when he was there.
Yeah, exactly.
That city was so hyped with him
that's
there.
why it was such a shock that he's gone.
He did so much for the city. He gave the city hope. Just his attitude on the court, professional off the court. He was everything the Celtic was. And Kyrie, I think he's going to go in and embrace the same thing and do the same thing. But we'll see. He's, in my mind, I think he's top 3 point guard. His handles are crazy. Very underrated on that. But he's still got a lot to prove. His defense, he's got to step up. He plays a little lackadaisical defense sometimes. But, I mean, you got Marcus Smart there that can kind of hide that flaw. But, I mean, we'll see. The Cavs won that trade.
Yeah.
They got 3 good players out of it for 1.
Yeah, I agree completely.
And they got a draft pick too?
With the draft pick. So
the Cavs came out on top. Now, if the Cavs could use that for success, they got to get Dwayne Wade on the bench, though. Because he's averaging right now like 2 points a game. I mean, you got to put JR back in that starting lineup and let Dwayne Wade come off as a point guard on the second unit and run that with Shumpert or something. But, I mean, right now, the Cavs, with Dwayne Wade, they're actually losing offense.
What about Derrick Rose? You see him doing anything with them this year?
Man, Derrick Rose is looking nice with it already. I hopefully he'll go back to that old Chicago Derrick Rose, but he just won't be taking it to the hoop so much. I think he needs to work on that pull-up game a little bit more, but Derrick Rose is looking real good. I think he's a bigger point guard, so when you play him against Kyrie, when you play him against Lonzo, that's going to work out great because he's going to be able to put a body on them.
Yeah.
Where Kyrie would sometimes maybe get punked by them because, he's not as big. He's kind of flimsy. But, we'll see. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting so far. What about moving on to NFL? What do you? Who's the team this year? They're really saying there's no team, but I know you're all about the Patriots.
Hey man,
Brady.
Tom Brady is the GOAT. I don't care. The Duke have one arm and still be the GOAT. He can throw it with his left arm and still be the GOAT. Tom Brady, I don't care if anybody says, oh, you're on his nuts. I am on his nuts. He's the greatest of all time. It's like Mayweather, Well, okay, maybe not the greatest of all time, but he's up there with Muhammad, I think right now the Eagles are looking real nice.
Eagles are, man. Carson Wentz, he seems like he's really like a leader. Very young, too. I mean, second year?
Eagles are looking good. The Rams are looking good. They just need
the Rams. I'm not buying it though, man.
I'm in. I'm on the LA Rams wagon right now. I'm excited because when I was a kid growing up, Jackie Slater was friends with my dad, and he used to come by all the time. Matthew Slater, who plays for the Patriots, shout out to Matthew Slater. And then Jackie Slater used to come by. He's a Hall of Famer right there. And we were big Rams fans, 49er fans as a kids. Yeah. And Rams were like the business. Then the Rams leave, and all of a sudden they're booty after that. Now they're back, and they're actually playing good when their second or third year here. So, I mean, I'm all for the Rams. I think it's great for the city.
I think the big thing with the Rams, too, is Todd Gurley. He's performing again.
Yeah, he's a beast. They just got to get rid of the Chargers, man. I mean, I guess that's just to give something to LA people to do when the Rams are not playing, but the Chargers are booty. They should have stayed in San Diego. They were booty down there, too. Send them to St. Louis and let them be booty out there. But, I mean, Rams are looking nice. San Fran, if they could get some offense, I think they'd be in the playoffs.
I'm still not buying that at
No,
all.
that
man.
defense is looking good, though. I mean, they're not losing games by like 12 points,
But they're
10
losing.
points. They're losing, but they don't have any offense. Give them a good quarterback, give them some better offense, and I guarantee playoffs. Their defense is looking good, though. They're competing. They're playing out there with heart. They're not giving up. They're going down to the wire. So I respect that. The Cardinals. What do you think of the Cardinals? You're a Cardinals fan. I mean,
Cardinals, man, I think with the addition of Adrian Peterson, they got what they needed. They looked great last week against the Bucks. Now, this week against the Rams, I think that's what with both teams. I said I wasn't buying in on the Rams, but if they put it on the Cardinals, then kind of changes my view. Same for the Cardinals. If they put it on the Rams, I think it's real for them. They do have a shot this year.
what do you think of Larry Fitzgerald?
Larry Fitzgerald, to me, I mean, obviously I'm a Cardinals fan. He's amazing, Hall of Famer. I still see him compete.
Classiest guy in the league.
Classy guy. I mean, you can't say nothing bad about him. I mean,
Do you think he should have left and got a ring somewhere else?
no.
No?
I mean, I respect this that he's here because you don't see that in any sport anymore. It doesn't happen anymore. And I understand, they got to go make their money because you never know what could happen. But you never see that anymore. So I hope he gets a ring,
I mean,
But
he's
his
not going to
time's
get a
kinda
ring.
short.
He's not going to get a ring here. Not with the Cardinals.
I mean, he could.
Carson Palmer's not a quarterback for him.
He could.
Imagine what he could do with Green Bay if Aaron Rodgers was healthy.
Yeah. I mean, you could say, imagine what he could do with New England.
Oh, that's what he
But,
should have done. He should have gone to New England seasons ago when they wanted him. He would have had a couple rings already.
That's true. I agree. But, I mean, I do respect that he stayed because you don't see that in any sport.
I do respect that at the same time. Sort of like Dirk out there with the Mavs.
Yeah.
Knowing damn well he's not going to win probably more than 30 games this year. They put him at center. But, I mean, he's loyal. He got that loyalty. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald, it would suck that he doesn't get a ring. I mean, shit, if I was a Patriot, I'll just give him a ring just for everything he's done for football. Classy guy. You never hear any.
He's going to get a Hall of Fame ring one day.
Oh,
so,
yeah. I mean, what is the green jacket or something? Or is that PGA Tour? I'm not really sure on that one.
They do a jacket. I don't know what color. Can't
Okay,
think
so
of it. It's
it is
golden
a
jacket, actually.
Golden
I believe.
jacket. All right. I don't know if I'd want a golden jacket. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I think the Patriots are still a weapon, but their defense right now is horrible.
Yeah.
Offense is suspect. I mean, Brady can't keep taking those hits.
What's going on? Even Atlanta, man. Both Super Bowl teams, they don't look the same.
Atlanta, they look good their first week, and then after that, I don't know. I mean, I put my money on the Patriots all the way, but Atlanta, I mean, they're going to choke again. That's just kind of what they do.
I think, they're playing the Patriots this weekend, or today.
I think Atlanta might beat us, honestly, and if they do, they do. I mean, we don't have a defense to compete with them. Our offense, like I said, is suspect. I mean, Brady can't keep taking those hits. So if we had beast mode over here to back us up and run on the floor every time something happened to Brady, I think we'd be good. But I mean,
what do you think about that? Just running out there, man. He was on the bench. I didn't even know
he's
that.
protecting his quarterback. I mean, I respect that. I mean, that's a lot of heart. That's your dude. That he's offensively carrying the game. He's the leader of the team. That's supposed to be the leader, but I think Marshawn's more the leader of the team.
They said it looked like he was protecting the quarterback, but they said actually Peters is his cousin. I don't know if he's really related, but he said he's his cousin, the guy that hit him from the Chiefs, and he ran out to go yell at him. And whenever you saw him push the ref, he pushed the ref and was trying to go at Peters, but I guess to talk some sense into him or tell him he was doing something wrong.
I think either way. I think he was protecting his quarterback, and at the same time, maybe been yelling at his cousin. I didn't know that was his cousin. But the ref's jacked up. He should have never got in front of him in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, ref is like 150.
I could see that, but at the same time, you got to respect the refs.
Yeah, but the ref was. I mean, if I saw some big ass nigga like that running toward me, I'm not gonna get in the way. That's like me and Kendrick Perkins in the alley, and asking him for a ride home. I'm good. I'll walk. I mean, this dude's scary. Like Marshawn Lynch, he's a big dude.
I mean, and at the same time, I think it pumped everybody up, man. Crowd got into it.
And then his ass
Oh.
went and sat in the crowd with them. Like,
Yeah,
that's a
that's
G
just-
right there. Like, how
man.
he sat up in the crowd with them and hung out with them. And no one even knew it was him. But they got a far picture of him trying to be incognito.
Yeah, they said he even took I'm not sure what the train, something going on somewhere. He
Yeah, the
took
subway home.
subway
and all.
home. Yeah, with Marcus Peters, the guy that
Much respect. I mean, it's a lot of respect. You know, a lot of these players are very humble, and a lot of them they don't care. They'll go out there with the crowds and be part of the people, and you got to respect stuff like that instead of always trying to hide and stay away from the limelight. And you respect guys like that as well too. You know.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to knock him. I respect that, especially the way he gets the crowd pumped up, even without him being on the field. I mean, that you could even say. I mean, it was a close game. They just won it. I mean, they had that little motivation right there. Crowd was into it.
Our Raiders
Changing it up.
championship team.
I think they could turn it around to be a championship team. They have the right pieces. Their division's weak right now too. They're not the only ones that started badly.
All right. What about Cowboys?
Cowboys, man, I don't see it. I don't see it.
Because you're a Cardinals fan though too.
I mean, I don't see it, man. I like Dak.
Dak's nice.
Ezekiel Elliott.
He's having a sophomore year though, right? The sophomore slump.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that bad though.
Okay.
But Ezekiel Elliott, I mean,
What do you think with
all
the
this
NFL
drama.
with Zeke? Should they just let him play or suspend him? 'Cause, I mean, he got
Man.
upheld again.
I think if there's drama like this during the year, they need to just say like it's gonna happen next year or something. They can't keep.
So sort of like what they did
Doing
with
this,
Brady,
like,
right?
Yeah, it just
Where
feels
they're like,
unorganized.
oh, we're gonna go
like,
ahead and
it's
suspend
just-
you. Then they didn't suspend him, and then the next season they suspended him 4 games, and then
Yeah.
after that he went ham.
Yeah, like I understand with Elliott though, what he did, was wrong and everything, and he probably should get suspended. But it's just it needs to be more organized. It can't be like, oh, we're gonna suspend you, and oh, wait, you're gonna play this week.
Well, that
Like,
brings up the next topic because in the NFL they're so big on this whole right now across the whole league. Everybody's kneeling for the national anthem, and the
Yeah.
NFL is sort of screwing themselves over, saying, "Hey, we don't want our players to kneel." Like especially Jerry Jones, the racist owner. I always kind of felt like he was an owner, like trying to tell his players, "You're gonna stand, boy," when I say stand. But then again, I'll go ahead and hire you if you beat your wife and
yeah, I
you
mean
commit-
that's where even I said it's unorganized. Like that's
So
how
you
are you
could-
gonna?
You could beat your wife in the NFL. You could do drugs.
And he doesn't care.
You
but
could
then-
kill people, but you can't kneel.
But if you kneel, it's a huge deal to him. I mean, that's where I think it just makes no sense. Like that's where everybody brings up these questions because, like, what's your reasoning behind this? Like, I understand the reason you want people to stand for the anthem, but then you're not listening to why they don't want to stand. I think that's the big thing with everybody. They don't understand why the players are taking a kneel.
And is it a bad thing that they're taking a kneel?
And I mean, well, for one, I'm all for it. Like I understand why they're doing it. At the same time, I say, like, what is it going to take for them to start standing again? What is it going to take?
Maybe we should just do like they do in international play, like in soccer games. They only do it for international. They bring out the flags, and then regular games they don't do it.
Yeah.
Because America's a bunch of sensitive people right now. I mean, for real. If you really look at this, it's a lot of people are saying, "Hey, you're disrespecting the troops." Not one time or one player has ever disrespected the troops.
Yeah, and I think that's where people take it wrong. They take it as if they don't stand, they hate America, or they're not, they're not a patriot, they're not for the country, and it's not that. But that's kind of why I said as well, though, what is it going to take for them to start standing again? And that's what people more need to ask and say, hey, what needs to be done to fix this issue?
I feel like the NFL could take a lot of. They could do a lot more. They could go out there and speak up against police brutality.
Yeah.
They could try to get their players and the communities to work with the police a lot more during the off season, during the regular season.
Yeah.
The NBA seems to somewhat have done it right. Their players are allowed to speak up on stuff and not get fined and treated like slaves.
Yeah.
But the NFL, man, I mean, at a certain point, you got to realize there's really no black owners in the NFL.
Yeah,
There's
and
a
I
bunch
mean-
of old white owners.
Yeah, with the NFL, like what's going on, man? Because seems like nobody clicks together, You have, just kind of feels like everybody's doing their own thing. The owners believe their own thing, and
True.
where's any involvement in the community? They don't really show anything. In other sports, you see a lot of that, NFL, it seems more like the players are doing it on their own, not as an organization.
And the players don't get paid enough to get treated like crap. I mean, they got to worry about head injuries. You know, some of these players only last, 4 years? If that?
I mean, that's what's sad because, that's why I said back how we're talking how they play for other teams and stuff. I could see that because you got to get as much money as you can because you never know what day could be your last in the league.
Exactly. You know, you get a knee injury like Teddy Bridgewater, and that could be the end of your day. But, I mean, luckily he's coming back. I look excited to see him back. But, I mean, the whole kneeling thing doesn't bother me. I'm for it.
Yeah.
But I am a
same
black man, so I might be biased on it. But I understand why people are kneeling. It doesn't offend me. I don't think anybody should get mad about it because we're not offending you. I get mad at those people that are saying, "Hey, stand up for the national anthem," but at home you're drinking a beer, you're yelling during the national anthem, you're partying, you're cussing, you're doing all sorts of stuff, and you're not, taking a moment of silence for the national anthem. You're not respecting that. So you're not going to stand up at home on your couch.
Yeah.
Then why you complain about the people who are at the stadium? The only reason why people are standing up at the stadium is because everybody else is doing it. In a harsh reality, if everybody were to close their eyes and say, "Please stand for the national anthem," and no one could look around, I guarantee you half the damn crowd wouldn't be standing.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty awkward whenever you're there.
And you don't stand.
And you don't stand.
Just like they say, "Please take a moment of silence," and you're like, "Oh shoot, I gotta be quiet. Hold up."
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's even people that stand. I don't think they really know. I mean,
they're standing to stand.
They're standing. Yeah, they're standing to stand. I mean, again, I'm not against that or anything. I mean, everybody has their own opinion, but I don't think they should stand to be against the players that are kneeling and the fans that are kneeling. It shouldn't be for that reason, that they're standing.
What do you think of all the? I was on Facebook the other night, and this girl that I really don't know. I've only worked with her once. She's had a big rant about NFL players should just go out there and play, and they don't turn on the TV to see them talk about politics.
Yeah.
Pretty much shut their mouth and play. What do you kind of think of that mentality? Does that go back to that whole kind of shut up and do what I say?
I mean, that's back that's like people are saying Jerry Jones, he has a bunch of slaves or something. I mean, that's basically what you're supporting right there because how are you going to say just, shut up and do your job and your opinion doesn't matter,
Yeah.
How would you feel at your job, somebody came in and just said, "Hey, Josh, shut up and do your job,"
Does that kind of like go back to the white privilege, like, hey, we as whites, we want you guys to shut up. We don't want you to talk about the social injustice. We don't want you to talk about racism. We don't want you to talk about, the murders and all the stuff that's going on in America.
I think that's definitely how it comes off, at least, I don't really know what people are thinking that say this, but that's how it comes off to me. And it's, like, how are you going to just say, like, "Oh, just shut up, no, we just want to see you play," really,
Yeah.
Why are you even watching the game, if you don't like these players so much, like.
And the NFL, viewership has gone down. They said about, 17.7%.
Yeah.
But, I mean, at the same time, the NFL kind of got boring the last couple of years anyways when you can't have touchdown celebrations like you used to.
Yeah.
You got to be all, it's kind of baloney nowadays. And I don't know how boys still running the league. But, I mean, the kneeling, it doesn't bother me. I'm all for it. I think the players shouldn't stop. I would love to see some owners actually speak up, and if they lose fans or they lose money, then so what? You got to speak up against the injustice.
I think it has to be just addressed, not individually, not from each player, but as NFL as a whole. They have to address this, and, something has to be done, If they're scared of losing fans, they're scared of losing fans, But can't keep going on as a question. And then now I feel like since it's gone on for so long that now it's kind of losing its purpose because instead of understanding why the players are taking a kneel, you have some fans that are against it, some fans that are for it, and some of them don't even know why they're against it or for it. They're just
doing it.
They're just doing it. And
a lot of fans are just, getting mad, saying, "Oh, you disrespect my flag, you disrespect this." I mean, America's got to sit back and look and say, "Hey, you know what? When you're wearing a flag as a bikini, that's disrespectful to your flag.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be having stars and stripes all over your coochie. You shouldn't be doing that. I mean, on a T-shirt, cool.
Yeah.
That's fine. But they showed this one picture on Facebook where this kid was bashing people for kneeling, and then 5 minutes later they catch him sitting on the American flag in the park. after he bashed people.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
I think that's what people have to understand, though, that it's not about disrespecting the flag. It's not about disrespecting the country. It's just saying,
a peaceful protest.
yes, it's saying something has to be done. And I think that's what people cannot, for some reason, they cannot understand, or they look past that and just say, hey, like, you need to stand. Everybody's standing. Like, they don't ask more why, or they don't want to know why.
It's mind control.
Yeah.
We want you to stand, and we want everybody in America to see you standing. And if you don't, then there's an issue. Anytime you speak up in America on any kind of issues, especially as a black man or a man of color, there's an issue.
And I mean, going back to Kaepernick, I know like everybody always talks about him and everything, but
I hope he gets signed. He needs to be playing.
To be honest, when he first started doing it, when he first took the kneel, I was kind of just like, oh my gosh, like, who is this guy? Like, he freaking doesn't even play anymore. Why is he doing this? Then I understood why, but still I was kind of like, like Kaepernick needs to kind of just, address this and make it end it, That was kind of my stance at first. And now, looking back at it and still how it is now, I say like, man, I got really respect for this guy because
he risked it all.
He risked it all, yeah. Just like we were saying earlier, like players could go out and their career could be over in one game because
pretty much his career is over now.
And he's not injured, but he did that. He took the risk that his career is over, and it looks like he's not going to play again.
Yep.
So I got to say, like, I got mad respect for him because he could be making millions of dollars right now, even if he's not playing, if he's on the bench for somebody.
Do you think? I think at this point, Master P brought up a good point of. He said, "Kaepernick, come over here and start our own league." Sort of like Ice Cube did with the basketball. Yeah. Do you think NFL players who are sick and tired of how the NFL is treating them should start their own leagues?
I completely think they should, and the only reason though I think it won't happen is because I don't think they all have what Kaepernick had, where he just put it on the line, and it looks like he's not going to play again in the NFL, and it doesn't look like he's stressing about it.
No, I don't think he's really.
I think some of these other players, they do like the money. I mean, I would like the money too,
Yeah,
but
money's good.
They don't want to take the risk that hey, we start our own league, we do our own thing. What if we don't make the same amount of money, type of thing. But I mean, just from a fan looking at it, I would watch it if it was some other league with all these good players that are...
I mean, you want to see the players enjoy themselves and have fun and play, and that might be the best thing is for them to come together, white, black, doesn't matter who you are, and come together and start your own league. Yeah, People will pay. You don't have to do the biggest venue. You could do small venues.
Yeah. I mean, people are going to fill it up. It'll eventually become the same thing because look at the players that are, involved in this. They're all primetime players, and I'm sure a lot of them that haven't said anything also support it. They just don't say anything.
Yeah, a lot of them don't want to. They don't know what to say, and they're afraid of their career because they got to pay for their family.
So, yeah, I feel like if this organization, the NFL, isn't getting it together, I mean, why not start a different one?
Mm-hmm.
And something that can put it together, support their players, support the community, have a voice in the community. It seems like the right thing to do, but I doubt anybody will do it just because of the money.
Yeah, the money is a big thing, and also losing endorsements and your image, and they have to. I understand some players worry about their families as well, getting death threats. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I mean, if you don't stand up for something, you're gonna die for nothing.
Yeah. I think that's kind of what it's come down to.
So, I see like Ice Cube, shout out to Ice Cube doing his own basketball league, or Master P trying to do something like that. That's what, that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
I know Ice Cube's people are like past their prime. Most of them are like almost 40, about to break a knee going out there. But, NFL players, these young guys could come together that don't want to play in the NFL.
Yeah.
They don't want to put up with the risk. I mean, yeah, you might not make as much money, but you probably don't have to have a gruesome season like that.
Yeah,
where every Sunday you could do games every other week if you wanted to, or something, or switch it up a little bit. Maybe make the quarters shorter so the injuries are not as prone to happen. Sort of like arena football, kind of make it that way. Even though to me arena football is kind of boring. You ever see it?
Yeah, I mean I agree. Like I think though if everybody did it, it'll be kind of just like the NFL at some point. But
true.
Again, I mean, that's a huge organization. You can't just say another one could be made overnight.
But then again, it'll give the opportunities for minority
Yeah.
owners.
Just like any other, just like any other business, it's fair to be able to try at least to do that, you know. And I think if everybody got together as a community, you know, especially the black community, and said, "Hey, you know, we're gonna try our own thing, be just as successful as everybody else."
Just like if LeBron and them left the NBA and started their own league,
Yeah,
the NBA would go down in a heartbeat because no one would want to see a bunch of half-assed players playing. If LeBron's not playing, if LeBron's playing a different league,
they're gonna go.
The fans are gonna go want to watch that. Even the ones that hate him, they're still gonna want to watch him because everybody hates LeBron. But at the same time, you can't hate greatness. You're witnessing greatness. So I mean, there's people that hated Michael Jordan when he was out, but at the end of the day, you're like, man, that was a GOAT.
Yep.
You know, Bill Russell, same thing that happened to all those players, any of these legendary players. You know, what do you think about Black Lives Matter? I feel like the topic has kind of died down a little bit on the Black Lives Matter. It's I feel like we got to keep that topic moving.
And I feel like that's kind of the same thing with the anthem that we're talking about. I mean, for one, I support it, but to go on that is it's died down, and I feel like it's also lost its message in there. Well, the people that hear about it, they don't know, you know, why Black Lives Matter exists, you know, what their goals are, anything. They just kind of have that attitude either I'm for it or against it. I really don't know why, but that's why that's what I'm telling you, and that's all I get from people, really.
I think a lot of people say, you know, when they say Black Lives Matter, they go, "Oh, I'm Black Lives Matter because I'm black."
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I mean, it's bigger than just being black. You know, this movement is not about just black people. It's for everybody. Yeah. It's for the same thing that MLK used to march for and speak about.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't have that Black Lives Matter at the time. Obviously, that probably would have been a hell on earth if he would have said something like that. But as of today, Black Lives Matter is not about just black people. There is an issue in America against black people, and it has been around the world. Cuba, Brazil, you know, blacks are still getting murdered. They could call us nigger in every language, but they can't call us sir. Yeah. You know, so it's one of those things where blacks are constantly a target no matter where we are. But in America, we need to use this as a way to go ahead and bring up other issues as, you know, equal rights for women, equal pay for women of every color. It doesn't matter. So people look at it as just as Black Lives Matter, which it primarily started for the black population. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it is promoting other equality across the board.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree. And I just feel like right now, the way society is, any social issue like this, it's just people don't look at it like how we can we fix this, or what's, you know, is this really going on? Instead, they just immediately have a stance. They're for it or against it. And I feel like both sides don't know why. Majority of both sides.
What do you think of, so, you know, the whole Black Lives Matter, primarily you get blacks. You've seen a lot of whites and Asians. Yeah. Why haven't we seen the Latin community? As a Latin man yourself, what is your view on that? How come we don't see that community stepping up and trying to support us?
I mean, one, like, I support Black Lives Matter. And I feel like most Latin people that I know do as well.
Are they American, though? They're more like the American Mexicans,
yeah.
right? The American Latins.
Yeah, well, yeah, the American Latins that are here. So, you know, like Mexican Americans and whatnot. But, you know, I feel like the Latin community really doesn't, right now at this point, doesn't take a stand together for really anything.
Unless it's Donald Trump or Sheriff Joe.
Even Donald Trump. I mean, majority of them didn't vote.
True. That's true.
So, I mean, it's known for some reason the Latin community doesn't go vote. And I take that to the same thing as Black Lives Matter. If they're not going to go vote, they're not going to go protest out there. They're not going to go do that. And, you know, I'm not talking bad about them. I'm saying I wish we would do that more.
There needs to be more camaraderie.
There's no real unity right now for us. And it's more, and that's more for the American Latin community. Because, you know, you'll see like the Dreamers and everybody out there go stand for what they're going, you know, the issues they have going on. But more the American Latin community, you don't see them really out there together, unified.
Standing up together and...
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm not saying all of them support Black Lives Matter, all of them don't, but the ones that do...
They understand what it really means.
Yeah, they understand what it means, but I don't feel like they're out there showing it.
So do you think, I mean, my opinion is with Black Lives Matter and the Latin population going through the similar struggles,
Yeah.
is they should really come together. I'm not saying that Latins need to join on with the Black Lives Matter,
Yeah.
but since Black Lives Matter is
Yeah.
the forefront of protests right now, or
Yeah.
the topic on every news channel
Yeah.
that they really want to talk about us, I feel like the Latin community should say, you know what, let's step behind them. Let's keep pushing this agenda. At the same time, we could get things changed for us as well.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't, what Black Lives Matter is trying to do is the laws that will get changed for us and things that we're trying to get changed
It's gonna benefit
will
both sides.
benefit both sides. I mean, there's Latins that are being murdered left and right
Yeah.
from cops that are not getting
Yeah.
reported. Not on a high as blacks are getting murdered,
Yeah.
especially on Facebook Live, stuff like that.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But the agendas are the same. You know, they want equality too. They don't want to be harassed just because of the color of their skin or because they speak Spanish. It's not fair for them. So I think the Latin community has always seen it as a struggle to team up with the black community.
Yeah.
But that also comes back to the way sometimes they were raised and the culture of, you know, we mind our own business. We don't marry outside of our race. We don't, you know, we stick with our own people. And people need to realize that, man, that was back in the 19...
Yeah, I feel like that's a long time ago.
But that old school mentality is still alive,
it still
though.
exists, yeah. And I think for the ones that it doesn't exist, it's kind of, like I said, kind of today's society where we have a stance and we might show it on social media, but then when it comes down to real life, you know,
like all those rappers and stuff like that.
We're standing at the NFL game, you know.
Yeah.
Even though we may be supporting
on social media. Social media, we're activists, and then after social media, you know, in real life, we're anti.
Yeah.
It. You know, it's funny because I went and I watched I didn't go down to Sheriff Joe when he was when Donald Trump was here last in Phoenix to go ahead and you know, do whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah.
That was just a big publicity stunt, anyways.
Yeah.
But I got mad at I saw all those Mexicans down there, all those blacks, all those people down there marching against Sheriff Joe and Donald Trump. Sheriff Joe is old as hell.
Yeah.
He's not going to be around much longer, if God grants us that.
Yeah.
He's out of power. He has powerful friends here and there, but I mean, he's not doing nothing. I feel like that march down there was stupid. The protest was stupid because they could have been protesting the right things: equality, equal pay, clean water. You know, all these places that need help. That's what we should be protesting about.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Clean energy bills, better jobs, better economy. That's part about making America great again. Not worrying about Sheriff Joe. That's not gonna. I mean, he's just a small piece that no one really cares about. Probably a good 90% of the U.S. probably doesn't even know who Sheriff Joe is. Or they've heard about it, but they don't know what he's known for.
And even if they do know what he's known for, it's more like he's just a character. Nobody really takes him serious.
He's just a Disney character.
But I think you have a great point on that because that's exactly, you know, what I was getting at is, you know, people don't, I mean, everybody that's looking on just sees it as that. Like, hey, it's a stupid thing, which even, you know, when we support it, we look at it, we say, yeah, that is kind of dumb to do that. But let's protest the real things that matter. And when is that going to happen, though, is, you know, the question with everything.
Is when we get leaders again. There's no more black leaders out there. I mean, they say there's black leaders out there, but where are they at?
Yeah.
Whenever you see a black leader, especially out here in Phoenix, most of the black leaders are doing it when the camera's on.
Yeah.
They're not doing that overtime work, trying to get out there in the communities to really bring people together.
And that's kind of going back to Kaepernick. I mean, that's where now, like I said, at first, I kind of thought he was just doing something dumb, kind of how we mentioned the Arpaio thing, protest. But now I look at him as a leader because he's one that was willing to give up his pay, give up being in the league to do this. And that's more, we need people like that are, you know, somebody that's going to step up and, you know, stand up for what's going on and, you know, not worry about what else could happen. But, you know, when will we see somebody like that?
I mean, the leaders are gone, in my opinion. The black leaders are gone. You know, and then when they come out, they're ignorant a lot of times, and they have their personal agenda behind it instead of the people's agenda. It's no longer about what can I do for these people.
Yeah.
It's about what can I do for myself.
Yeah.
You know, there's some people out here in Phoenix who they're all caught up in the media spot of it. They only want to come out when the media comes out. They want to incite riots. They want to incite all sorts of BS. You know, this one thing I get so sick of is the one thing I have against Black Lives Matters is the actual people who started, the 3 women who started, I have mad respect for it. But all these other people who are claiming Black Lives Matter now, we're a Black Lives Matter group, we're
Yeah.
black, and that's cool that they're going to do that if they're going to do it the right way.
Yeah.
But don't be claiming Black Lives Matter, and you're doing a bunch of BS, and you're inciting riots, you're cussing out the cops, you're cussing out people, disrespecting women. You're not part of that Black Lives Matter. Stop using that name for your agenda. And I feel like those ones who are doing that, the black community needs to shut them down and say, look, no, we're not associated with them. I mean, because out here in Phoenix, there's 2 Black Lives Matter. You know, and you sit back and wonder, why is there 2 of the groups? Now, I've heard the drama between the 2, and, you know, I kind of, you know, have my opinions on it, but why 2? If you can't come together and make one Black Lives Matter and speak for everybody and really try to push it, then there doesn't need to be 2 groups, and shut them both down.
Nah, yeah, I completely agree, and that comes back, like we were saying, the unity is just, you know, not really there, and it needs to be.
Because it's still the number one issue with blacks, is blacks against blacks. Instead of realizing, like you said, unity. Come together, do something together. Instead of saying, well, Black Lives Matter over here, I'm Black Lives over here. There doesn't need to be a Black Lives Matter East, Black Lives Matter West.
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter Phoenix should be able to cover the whole area and work with the cops, not make race relations harder with the cops.
Yeah.
You know, Black Lives Matter should be also going out there talking about, you know, we need street lights out here for our kids to walk home at night.
Yeah.
We need better parks. We need the parks lit up. We need, you know what I'm saying? Like, talk about that stuff, because that still matters to our boys, to our girls, to our husbands, to our fathers, our sons, our brothers, our uncles, you know what I'm saying? Like, every time I see a black man walk home, I'm always like, Tim, I try to pray for them, because at night, it's like, man, that dude might not even make it home tonight just because he's a black man walking home. I've seen young kids walking home with basketballs and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, this kid might get harassed just for being black. I worry about my niece and nephews. So, I mean, it's a really, you know, we have to come together and really unify and bring these topics up still. Because it's not gonna stop unless we continue bringing it up.
Yeah, and I think you have an excellent point there, because like I said earlier, you know, what is it going to take for this to be, you know, the movement to calm down, to kind of be, I want to say be over with, but, you know, what is it going to take to get to the point where, you know, the players are standing for the anthem again and things like that. And that's, I think, the step towards that.
Yeah. And I think it's when Agent Orange is out the office. Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, we got Agent Orange in there and Hitler right behind him. I mean, Mike Pence is a joke. Both of them are jokes. Yeah, once they get out, because they're not going to acknowledge it, they're okay with it. They're okay with the NFL treating their players like crap, as long as their players stand.
Yeah. And
they're okay with America going to shit.
And that's where it's just, man, like, you also got to realize, like, majority of the people voted for him. So, like, what's going on as a country? Like, where's our priorities at?
We don't have priorities.
Like, what really enticed people to do this, you know?
They didn't want Hillary. Yeah. They didn't want Bernie. They wanted Donald. Bernie was the best candidate. Hillary was just like Donald.
Yeah.
I mean, it's dog shit or cat shit. Which one do you want? We just took the bigger shit and we took dog shit. You know, Trump, man, that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah,
but
I mean, we could talk for days, but yeah, it's just, man, the feeling of it all right now is just, how do you have, you know, a leader of the country just, you know, pretty much
not caring about anything,
not care about people's views, you know?
Because those Twitter fingers going to turn into trigger fingers real quick, you know? The boy don't play. But that's our first episode today on the Get Down. Hopefully you guys like the show. Catch us next week on the Get Down with a special guest, all right? We
Peace out.